Hey guys, Halman1990 back here again with another manga review. This time, something I just finished reading, Axe Alternative Manga, Volume 1. Hopefully there will be a Volume 2 of this because it is amazing. I picked this up after I saw Code Provider's video on it. He did a little mini review of it himself where he was totally freaked out by it. And after reading it myself, I can confirm it is indeed really freaky. It's a compilation of 33 different manga short stories by 33 completely different artists that have all, at maybe one point or another in time, been featured in the monthly magazine Axe over in Japan. And I don't know how the selection process went for publishing them in this, thick volume, but I don't know whether they were the best pick choices or something, but each and every single one stands out on its own, and each one is completely different from the last. I guess the best way to put it would be to say that each story that features within this, they all complement each other in one way or another, even if they completely juxtapose each other and completely different. That element of difference between the stories, it helps it to flow. Because once you read one story, you'll be geared up for the next one, or you'll one will feature graphic violence or sex scenes or something, but whereas the next one will be more mellow in tone, and you kind of go up and down with it, or at least I did. That's what I did. Now, to anybody who's more familiar with reading more popular titles within manga, your typical Naruto or Dragon Ball Z or anything like that, if you're thinking of reading something that's more experimental, then I would highly recommend picking up Axe, because it completely differs and takes itself away from modern standardization of how manga is created. As Code Provider said, it really is the anti-Bakuman. If you've read Bakuman, it's all about how to create manga within one of the lead magazines in Japan, Shonen Jump. And with this, you can tell the manga artists basically literally have just done what they want. It's some of the stories don't really make much sense, or kind of leave you open to question. And it's in that respect that makes Axe a complete mind rape of a read, because some of the stories compiled within this, leave it so open to personal interpretation that sometimes I felt that there was nothing really to take away. There was no undertone or message that I really got from some of the stories within this, which isn't necessarily a bad thing. It just means that it's just completely avant-garde and unconventional, and there's no room for conformism within these stories, because it's just it doesn't. Axe isn't a magazine that promotes conformism. It completely promotes anti everything, and that's what's so amazing about this. So, as a means of evaluation and analysis, here's a few examples of the artwork that's featured in Axe. Now, the first work I want to talk about is A Broken Soul by Noshioka Brosis, I believe that's how you pronounce the name. This is one of the ones that really left me open to questioning. I didn't really understand it. The only thing that I really got from this, and the only thing that intrigued me, was the artwork. It kind of reminds me of French art and Taiyo Matsumoto's work, the guy who did Tek on Concrete. It's just got that really abstract feel to it, and I love the distorted perspective in it. It's really, really, really good. Now, this is one of the ones that I found very entertaining. Home Drama, The Sugawara Family by Einosuke. There was nothing story-wise that went with this. It really mainly focused on the artwork and how the family are indulging themselves in the food, and how disgusting they look. There's such attention to detail in the faces and the actual artwork. I love the use of pointillism for shading, and this one really, really stood out for me in the book. I'm definitely going to be looking out for more of his work. Now, this is one of the last stories to be featured in the book, Six Paths of Wealth by Kazuichi Hanawa. This one really, really intrigued me because it really reminds me of Junji Ito's work. If anybody's read Geo or Uzumaki, then they'll be able to see the resemblance between this. The story as well was very good. I think it's based on Japanese folklore or something, some kind of ancient religion or something. I don't know whether or not this is true, or whether this is just something the mangaka made up, but it's very, very good. And of course, there are plenty more stories that are equally disturbing featured within this book, but some too disturbing to really talk about on camera. But yeah, I highly recommend picking this up. It is a very, very enjoyable read, and in the back there's like author profiles for like stuff they've worked on, and where they come from, when they're born, how old they are, things like that. And some of them are like pretty interesting if you're into reading up about the mangaka and stuff like that. But yeah, I'll give you a little bit of a quick flip through of the artwork. It's very thick. The paper quality is really good, and just obviously the alternating artwork is something that really it makes something like this really stand out on the shelf. So I'm very, very much hoping for a second volume 2 release of this. And yeah, that's pretty much all I've got to say. So yeah, Howlin' 1990 signing out. See you later.